Hello, okay. Hello, everybody. Um, we actually have a lot to talk about, and I'm just gonna jump right in. First thing that I want to talk about is the Oscars. We had the Oscars, and actually, I'm pissed because here's why I'm pissed. Okay, here's why I'm pissed. We're in Mountain Standard. So I looked it up beforehand. I was like, when do the Oscars start in my time? And they were like 7 p.m. I was like, or 5 p.m. I was like, perfect. I was like on my phone and I was like, oh my gosh, it is exactly 5 p.m. Oscars time. It's time for the Oscars. I love the Oscars. Love to watch. Love to see all the people winning. I love how half of my face is pink and half of it isn't. Anyway, sorry, not important. Um,
Yeah, that's not just the camera.
crazy. Um, I was like, oh my gosh, perfect. I didn't even set an alarm. I was like, this is fate. I'm supposed to be watching the Oscars. I get on to all the things. I'm like, getting on all the Oscars because it's ABC, I believe, right? ABC is on Disney Plus. It's on Hulu. It's on, and then they had it on YouTube, the Oscars website. Checking all the things. I cannot find anything except the red carpet live on the red carpet. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe they're running late. The Oscars haven't started yet, and it's just still the red carpet. I've been watching that red carpet for half an hour, and I was like, this can't be. This cannot be. People are just they're just coming and going on the red carpet like willy nilly, and then so I start doing more Google, and I'm like, Oscars 2026. What time? Hopefully, starting not red carpet, and they're like, 5, and I was like, I can't find it. So then I'm Googling a bunch of different things, looking, going on. I was on Disney Plus, just had the Oscars. I was on YouTube for red carpet, just went on YouTube, just the red carpet. And then I go on the Hulu tab on the Disney Plus app, just red carpet, can't find it. Go on the Oscars website, can't find it. Wow, this is happening. I'm Googling things. I'm seeing so and so won this. So and so won this. I'm like, so the Oscars happening while I'm doing this. I cannot find it. It took me until 6 p.m. to actually get myself into the actual Oscars, and I was pissed. I was so mad. ABC, count your days because all I wanted to do was consume your content, and you made it so extremely hard. That being said, let's go quickly run down of the Oscar winners. I wasn't prepared actually for this. I forgot I was doing this bit. So it's okay. We had some of the Oscars that I did see. I enjoyed. I thoroughly enjoyed because I think Conan is a great host. Conan hosted this year again, and I think he's a great host. There was good jokes. The people who were being joked about, like, didn't take it harshly. They like, obviously there was lots of jokes about Timothée this year, and like
I thought it was funny. He didn't like react poorly, but every time they did a joke and they flashed to him, he was just like,
he did not care at all. Which is honestly good on him because like right off the bat, opening monologue, there's jokes. He's like, you were expecting attacks from from the ballet and opera community, and like Timothy's like he just takes it, which is fine. If he was like upset about it,
I actually really liked the opening bit. I watched very little of it, and I watched the whole opening bit.
yeah.
That was funny.
So good jokes, good things. And here's what I really liked about it. A lot of the presenters, not every single presenter, but a lot of the presenters were like picked very well. And for example, we had a little Avengers moment. Oh, teasing for Doomsday, I see. We had Robert Downey and Chris Evans doing a presentation together. And then we had a Moulin Rouge reunion. Uh, Ewan McGregor and Nicole Kidman did a little presenting together. And then we got, the drama. We got Robert Pattinson and Zendaya. So, all in all, I enjoyed what I could see. ABC. Make it easier to find. Okay, very quickly. Best picture. We had one battle after another. Everybody thought it was going to be Sinners. Everyone was a little shook.
When we did our 2025 recap, I don't think we even mentioned, like, we mentioned movies that had come out that we didn't see. I don't think this was even mentioned.
I was unaware of this film.
I recognized the poster and I'm like, I remember it being before it came out, but I don't remember it actually coming out.
And I usually, before the Oscars, I'm like, let me watch all of the nominees. And I did not have time for that this year. But I had seen a lot of the ones already, so I was like, oh, it's gonna be fine. But one battle after another, really, I was like, maybe I should watch this now. Anyway, actor in a leading role, Michael B. Jordan, no surprise. Also, before I say all these, Marty Supreme, I don't think won anything. So that movie was good. I don't think did I talk about it on here?
Uh,
I don't remember.
you might have just talked to me about it.
It was good. It did not blow me away. Um, and but I was entertained. So like it was a good movie, but like after Timothy's comments, I can see it was you can like see the polls for like trending like who's gonna win, whatever. And the best actor, it was him and Michael B. Jordan were like top. And then when he made the comments about ballet and opera, they immediately switched and Timmy tanked and Michael B. Jordan went up. Timmy. Okay. Actress in a leading role. I am not surprised by this either. Jessie Buckley in Hamnet. Although I did not like Hamnet, she had some good acting. Actress in a supporting role, we had Amy Madigan in Weapons. Animated feature film, no surprise again, K-pop Demon Hunters. I was really hoping Zootopia 2 was gonna get this, but
There's no way.
yeah, if I knew it was gonna be K-pop Demon Hunters, but animated short film, The Girl Who Cried Pearls. Casting, ooh, our very first year for casting, one battle after another. Very, very well. Cinematography, Sinners. Listen, Sinners was good also, but out of all of the movies nominated in all of the categories, I do think Frankenstein should have won all of them. Out of all of the movies I have seen for this last Oscar season, like Frankenstein,
Even best sound.
no, I do think although F1, when F1 won Best Sound, I was like, yeah, sure,
That's all they got going for
for the
them.
vroom vrooms. Okay, costume design. This was Frankenstein. So good on them for that. Directing, one battle after another. Documentary feature film, Mr. Nobody Against Putin. Documentary short film, All the Empty Rooms. Film editing, one battle after another. International feature film, Sentimental Value. Live action short film, The Singers. Makeup and hairstyling, Frankenstein. Good because dude, Frankenstein. Music, Sinners. I thought that was going to be Sinners as well. Music, obviously it was Golden from K-pop Demon Hunters. Don't anything that like we saw K-pop Demon, I was like, clearly. I didn't even see that movie. Anyway. Production design, Frankenstein. Sound, F1. Virtual effects, Avatar. I thought Avatar should win this
I kind of
as well.
forgot it came out last year.
Writing, one battle after another. Writing for adapted is one battle after another, and writing for original is Sinners. So, all in all, good spread, although there were like top ones who took home a lot of things over and over again. But of the Oscars I saw, I did enjoy. Anyways, moving on to our next topic. I do just have to say, Becca, I have been thinking about a specific character in a specific film recently that really just makes me want to watch the movie like so desperately. And I'll give you a hint. It's not Wuthering Heights. So, do you know,
A
can you
movie that
guess?
you watched.
We have both seen it recently. So like it's recently come out and I've been thinking about a specific character in that movie. I'm just like, oh, I want to watch it again just to see that character.
We watched The Bride. We watched Project Hail Mary. We watched. I won right after Wuthering Heights. Is it that one? What is that one? ZW, that wasn't ZW. That was way before. That was I'm trying to think of the movie stubs I have in my pocket. Oh, Scream. Okay, well, Scream. A specific character.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Sydney. Like I don't know.
I've
Like
been thinking about the husband cop
oh,
so much. I love that guy. And I need to consume more of his content. Put him in a little spin-off, I'd watch that
I
thing.
don't remember. He's an actor I know, right?
Yeah, he's Lassie's dad in the latest Psych movie. He's in like so many
I'm
things.
trying to remember because I'm like I just am thinking of generic guy.
Uh, Mik Mikhail is his last name. Honestly, he's one of those actors who's like, I know this guy, but like, what's his name? I think his last name is
Oh
Mikhail.
yeah. The community guy.
Joel McHale. Yeah, Community. I didn't know if you'd seen that.
I haven't, but that's
Okay.
what I know him
Yeah,
from.
he's in Community. Anyway, he's also in like
He is
everything.
yeah.
But he's one of those actors where it's like, I know this guy.
He's just around.
He's
And
around.
you're like, I seen his face, but like, I don't know his name.
He's
You don't
been
know the thing that he's from.
he's been around town. So love that.
He's in Spider-Man 2?
I'm not gonna say, listen, I'd have to make a legitimate list, but like he'd be up there as top favorite characters ever.
Of any movie or of the Scream
Listen, I
franchise?
told you I don't know the official list, but like as of right now,
That's a
like
crazy
Regent,
statement.
maybe
Of
it's
all the
no, wait.
characters and everything ever,
No, like
this guy,
I love that guy.
he's got like 10 lines.
I know. Um,
That's a crazy statement, actually.
but it's probably recency bias.
1000%. There's no, write this down, we'll do an episode on it. We'll do our top 10 characters of all time.
That would take me so long to compile. Only top 10? He's not in the top 10. He's maybe like top 100.
Oh, well, that would take way longer.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
still don't believe he wouldn't. That still is like crazy to me.
I love that. I loved him. I loved every minute of him. And when I thought he died in that movie, I was broken.
Okay. We we together hate characters that die and come back, but I feel like his was kind of reasonable because
Hmm.
we see him die. We oh no, it's never brought up until he comes back again because he's just left there and they don't ever go back to
I
that
was so
place.
sad. When he showed back up, I was like, oh, thank goodness. Oh, I need a spin-off to see when him and Sydney find love. I want to
You'll be
watch
the
that
only
TV
one
show.
watching.
I will watch that TV show. Anyways, we need to move on because we have another big topic before we even get to the main topic of today's episode, which is Project Hail Mary. Stick with us, guys, for just a second. We need to talk about the Spider-Man trailer.
I watched it. Um,
Period.
yeah, I watched it, and but then like I talked to my brothers, and I'd only seen the one, and I only saw what you sent me, so I didn't look it up at all, and they were like, "That's fake. It's made up. It's AI. It's whatever."
No.
Just whatever you told me, I believe, because I
Why do
didn't
they
look it
think
up.
it's fake?
'Cause they watched the YouTube videos, and the YouTube video said it was fake.
Here's the thing. Is every single piece in this trailer exactly true to the movie? 100% no, can't be. They don't do that in Marvel. They take the bits and they change it to make it look for the trailer. There is a specific part in this trailer
When they're jumping,
with the ninjas.
yeah.
Yeah, the jumping and the ninjas. It's very similar to Spider-Man No Way Home where it got spoiled that the other Spider-Man have to be in that scene because the lizard got punched and no one was there. People are making comparisons because they're like, all the ninjas are not on the same level as Spider-Man. So like there's more ninjas down here than
Or
Spider-Man's up
like
here.
their
So
eye
they're like,
line.
who's down here? They're like, suspicious. And I've sat with this trailer for, I don't know, it's a couple days now, and I think everybody's so obsessed with it because obviously, Spider-Man, everybody loves Spider-Man already, but it's been like radio silence for this movie for a very long time. So now we're getting the full trailer and everybody's like, "Oh, is it what is this in the trailer?" And so here are some things that I'd like to bring up from the trailer. There's a lot going on in this trailer. But so main key things in the trailer is Spider-Man. Evolution question mark? He becoming real spider question mark?
New powers?
New powers? No need for man-made webs? Question mark? Um, and then also we have MJ. For MJ, she doesn't know who this man is. But in one of the scenes in her apartment, or whatever, in the background, you can see a bunch of Spider-Man pictures. So like she should be trying to figure out who Spider-Man is. But also, there's okay, I'm actually gonna come back to this moment. We also have Hulk.
Opinion.
Hulk's in this movie. We also have a lot of villains or potential villains going on in this movie. I was a little scared at the very beginning of watching this trailer because I was like, who's the big baddie? It just kind of reminded me of Spider-Man 3, where there's like too many villains, too much going on. Because we have mind control, something. We've got Frank. I don't think he's really gonna be a bad guy in this movie. He's just there for the bits.
Frank.
He was the guy in the tank where he's like, "Go home, Frank."
Okay.
They're like kind of friends. Then we have uh I can't remember his name. He was in the first Spider-Man movie. He's in the scene for like a second. I can't remember his name now.
Vulture?
It's not Vulture, but it's he like
I don't
I
know.
can't remember. I honestly don't think he's going to be a big part of it. But the main big bad that people are like Jean Grey question mark?
Is she in the trailer?
No, but Sadie Sink is in this movie. Everybody thinks Sadie Sink is playing Jean Grey, or version of Jean Grey. Like we've said before, we don't know the comics. I don't know where all this is being pulled from. I'm just hearing things and theorizing on other people's
If you
theories.
just dislike her, don't put her in a movie.
Sadie Sink?
Yeah, it's Jean Grey. Every version.
Okay. Because
I like Sadie Sink.
there's a girl tied up in a chair. People are like, that's Sadie Sink. And then we have the little bit where they like open up the tank and there's like old lady, and then it like something like possession or something, maybe question mark, I don't know, gets to person. So we're like, what's that all
I
about?
don't see her being the bad guy. I see her it being him regretting opening whatever she was stuck in that she's like too powerful, but like
Mm,
I don't see her being the biggest bad.
yeah, so okay, and then uh also okay, so the guy Frank, he's apparently in Daredevil Born Again, I believe. Something Daredevil. So I have started watching Daredevil because I'm convinced he's gonna be in this movie.
I agree.
So I originally back in the day I saw a little bit of the original Daredevil, but I haven't seen any of Born Again. So I'm going back watching all of Daredevil and then all of Born Again before this movie comes out because I want to know what's going on and who everybody is. Um, so there's that bit. I think Daredevil is gonna be in it. But okay, Hulk. Hulk is a professor, okay? In the trailer, we see Peter Parker go up to Hulk and he's like, "Excuse me, Bruce Banner?" And then in a later scene, we see Spider-Man being analyzed because they're like, "What's going on? He's evolving." Does Bruce, or does Bruce Banner then know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man if they're both asking the same questions? Or was that just some trailer trickery and he's just asking a random
I
question?
feel like it's gonna be like, hey, what is this hypothetical? And then Bruce Banner's gonna be like, why would you need that hypothetical? And then other things, and then he's like, you know what? I'm Spider-Man, and we know each other, but like trust.
So like I'm wondering who by the end of this film is going to know that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, because they made a whole bit of like in the last movie nobody. It's done. He doesn't know. Sorry. He doesn't know anybody who's Peter Parker, especially MJ and Ned. Even though MJ made him promise, to come find her, which he found her, but so far he ain't told her nothing. And will he tell her? Will she figure it out? Still wearing her necklace. He has the letter. And also, so we're playing with all that. Let me just run with this theory, but like questions a little bit for a little bit. Ned and MJ have interacted with Spider-Man. Do they in there, so because they just took away the fact that people know who Peter, that Peter Parker is Spider-Man, right? Or did they take away the fact that anybody knows who Peter Parker is? It has to be that, right?
Everyone forgets who Peter Parker is.
Okay. So Ned thought he had no friends. And Peter was his only friend.
Well, then how did he meet MJ?
Exactly. What is happening? And then also they like interacted with Spider-Man. So do they in real time think that they're friends with Spider-Man but don't know who Peter Parker is? Or did they forget about that as well?
I feel like it's gonna be one of those things where it's like they like when they were on the in Europe, they're gonna be like, yeah, Spider-Man was there, but like it wasn't like, and then we helped him solve the case. It's just gonna be like he was there and he saved us from the Ferris wheel or whatever it is.
Does MJ think she's in love with Spider-Man?
I'm gonna say no.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say no for that.
These are all things that are running around in my brain, and I just don't know what they're gonna do. Will you be mad if they all just know he's Peter Parker by the end of this movie again?
Yeah, then what's the point? You restarted it just so you could do the same thing to have the same like emotional impact on the character. That's not how it works. You can do the same thing.
I think that's what's gonna happen.
Don't do that.
I don't know.
I don't think that's what's gonna happen. I think he's gonna be all sad and stuff at the end.
That's what
Less sad, but like still sad.
everybody's liking how sad and broke he is. So, and the last thing I'll say about this trailer is the shirtless scenes. Thank you. Okay. We can finally move on to Project Hail Mary. Today's legitimate topic, even though I'm gonna say Spider-Man was a legitimate topic. So, anyways, okay, Project Hail Mary. I have said on here before,
Hannah hates space movies.
I hate space movies. Not a fan of Interstellar, The Martian, Gravity, Apollo 13 if I watched it, Space Odyssey, all of that. Does not appeal to me, don't care, don't want to watch it. Becca, how much of this movie, like, would you say you said it's space?
I said it is as much of a space movie as Interstellar. I think more of Interstellar takes place on Earth than this movie takes place on Earth.
Hmm. You know what? And after I watched this, I said, you know what? They did it because this was a space movie and I liked it.
I the way that you were acting out of the theater, I felt like you were like, yeah, it's okay, but like you didn't really love it. Glad to hear now that you did.
I'm gonna say right off the bat, I give it a 9 out of 10.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
that's very good.
For a space, like honestly, I couldn't tell you one thing that was wrong with the movie, but like it just didn't have that like oomph that I would give for a 10. You know what I'm saying? Like it did not like change my life, but I would have 1000% watch this again and recommend it. So like for the space movie community, this is a win because you got you got me to watch this one.
And a stamp of approval.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought it was really good. And
Will you will is it so good that you're gonna read the book?
okay, I actually wrote down I'm gonna continue to not read books.
Okay.
Is that was exactly what I wrote down. I'm gonna continue to not read books because I do enjoy the movie for any book. Like let's take for example The Count of Monte Cristo or Les Mis or The Great Gatsby. All of the or Harry Potter.
The four movies, the four books
Well,
you read.
I'm saying like those are books
Yeah,
that I enjoyed reading and I have read more than once actually. Actually. So write that down. Um Even though I like reading those books and I have read them more than once, I would still rather watch the movie. I just enjoy movies more. For me, music is a huge part of why I love movies and just in general, like in life, like music plays a huge part in my life. And so like having the visual and the music and like it's just such more of an experience for me that I don't think I will read this book. And I'm gonna continue to not read books in hopes that they'll make movies about them so that I can enjoy them more than I would have if I read those books.
I think music was a huge part of this movie, and I was gonna give a counterexample to the other books that you named that turned into movies. I think all of them, but Count of Monte Cristo, have a really huge music like element to them. Count of Monte Cristo has music. It's not as
Yeah,
a big part of the movie,
yeah,
but all of the other ones are very, very influenced by their music.
exactly my point. And I'm just such a visual person. Even like reading a book, like I want to visualize the actors who are in the movie when I'm reading the book. I don't want to make up some face. I don't like that.
I have heard this argument from you before that of why you don't like reading the books. I've never heard this. Because it's always people are like, oh, you read the book and then you get to decide what it's like, and like that's a pro, and you're like, no,
No,
but then you're what I've always heard you come back as then you're disappointed with the movie when it's not what you thought. Not I don't like thinking about people who don't exist.
I don't want to.
Why would I make up a person when there's a
No,
person I could just think about instead?
exactly.
That's so funny.
Okay,
I don't.
anyway.
I've never met anyone who said that.
Yeah, everybody's like puts that in a point in the book column where they're like, I get to
I
visualize
think it's still a
the
pro
character. And I'm
because
like,
it's my own thing. Like you'll be reading a book and it'll have some description of a character, and then later it'll add to that description. You're like, that's not actually what he looks like, so I'm just gonna ignore that bit. It's more personal. It's more. It's automatically what you like. You're not gonna make a likable character look like something you don't like.
hmm,
And like, so you just automatically like it all better. Hannah, however, has a casting list in her mind, and if she cannot audition the right person, the book is ruined.
mm.
She must watch the movie and have their casting
And you
director
know
find
what? If there is, I've never really experienced this, I don't think, because I'm not reading. But if I read a book that was just like a random book, like no film associated with it at all, I would picture other celebs
which
as those
I don't know
characters.
that. I make up people or I like I'll
No,
take characters and I'll kind of change them a little bit when I'm like,
nah.
it's crazy. I know that for Harry Potter specifically, I had watched the movies before, but when I read the books, not Harry, but some of the other characters just like looked completely different when I was reading the books when I was a kid, or like before like there was a point of time where I hadn't watched the movies over like as much as I have now, where I was like the in my mind, even though I had seen the movies first, how they looked was how I thought they looked in the book, but now they are how they are in the movies because now that's like overtaken them. That's the only example I have where I watched the movie first and still thought of them differently. But
Well,
yeah.
speaking of the characters, really? So like, there's everybody in the space group. Oh,
Wait, actually, hold on,
Mika.
pause. We didn't do a recap,
Yeah, we need a
but first I'm
rundown.
gonna talk about something.
Okay,
This movie, uh, actually no, this makes more sense if I recap the movie.
okay.
Recap of the movie. I would also like to say that I have not read the book, but I have been told I've been taking a play-by-play from like several people have been like this is exactly what happens in the book and told me like recounted the entire book to me.
Okay.
multiple people. So I think I have a gauge, but it's also what happens in the movie, so it's like whatever.
Okay.
Here's the plot. Middle school teacher, hey, there you know that like the big red line that is from Venus to Sun that's like killing the sun? Yeah, I know of this line. What do you need me for? You know that paper you did forever ago that like got you fired? Yes, I don't like that paper. We need you to come like research them so because we think that maybe they're not we need to know why they're killing the sun. We need to know how to stop them. Maybe we don't die if we don't let them kill the sun. And we need you because you are an expert in the field. They bring him in. He's like, shoot, they definitely still have water. That's a bigger deal in the book, I think, than it is in the movie. Because his like research partners are like, you don't need water.
Hmm.
Anyway, but he's like, but they're cells, they're little alien bros, and they move very fast and they have a lot of energy. She's like, cool. Come be joining this secret project. Secret project. Oh no, all of the suns are dying except one. Let's go there and figure out why it's not dying. We got this crew. Right now we're gonna test out the little alien dudes. We're gonna use them to run the ship. Oh my gosh, you figured out how to breed them? Now we have enough to run the ship. Perfect. Oh no. They're so explosive. Oh no, they exploded and killed all of the science dudes. There's only one science dude left. Ryan
Is that what
Gosling.
killed them?
Yeah.
Oh.
They're yeah.
I was a little confused on that because I was like, in my mind, I was just like, oh, their technology failed.
There's a handful of lines where it's like if we do this poorly, these will explode. If we do this poorly, like the if we exploded all the ones that we have, it would blow up California. If
Hmm.
we did this or like whatever, he's like that's
Well, yeah, but I just thought like the medical stuff that they had that kept them in the coma didn't work.
I think we're thinking of different
Oh,
things.
yeah, I'm thinking on the
Yeah,
ship.
no, different.
You're
I'm
thinking of
thinking of
the
the
explosion.
explosion.
Okay.
When I said they exploded and then they died, that was
Okay, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah. I was
explosion part is
like,
the part I'm talking about.
I am with it.
Is the
So,
aliens that blew
but
up.
am I correct about the just the coma
Yeah, the coma they
stuff?
were just like, isn't comas dangerous? Yeah, it's so dangerous. You gotta do it anyway.
Okay,
And they just happened to be 2 out of 3.
gotcha.
So yeah.
I'm also, I'll get to it later.
Okay. We killed all the science dudes. We needed one more science dude for the mission. You're the only guy who knows it. No, I don't want to go on the mission. Too bad, you're going anyway. Shing. Okay, now he wakes up. Oh my gosh, uh doesn't remember anything, doesn't remember why he's on the ship, all this stuff. He kind of remembers, oh, I got the idea, patrol the line, like alien dudes, that's what I'm here for. Doesn't remember why he is on it, because I don't, yeah, it's like coma, you know. Other dudes are dead. Other two dudes are dead. Hangs out, looks at their stuff, still riding a bit. Then he gets to the place that he's looking for. He goes, "Ah, shoot, they got a line full of little aliens as well. So how come their son isn't dying?" Question mark. What is that over there? Another spaceship. Let's go check it out. Another spaceship. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Then the spaceship sends him a message. The message is like, "Hey, we're aliens too. What's up?" Then other spaceship sends him a tunnel. He goes and checks it out. Who is there? A little rocket guy. Oh my gosh. Now they're bros. They send messages back and forth. They do some computer things. Now they can understand each other. Now they're bros. Therefore, we're both trying to do the same thing. We're trying to figure out why this sun's not dying when all of our suns are dying. So let's work together. Hi, my name's Rocky. Hi, my name's Grace. Best friends. Because they're the only ones. All the other Rockies died as well. So it's just them. Buddies. They're trying to figure out. They go, we gotta figure out what's on the surface of the planet. I might be skipping ahead, but whatever. They're like, we're gonna go to the surface of the planet. Oh my gosh, there's life on the planet that's eating the aliens, which is preventing them from killing the sun. Let's go get them. They go, they send some probes down. This big line with a ball at the end. He goes outside, collects the probe, almost dies. Oh no. The spaceship gets torn out of space. They both get hurt. Rocky gets out of his ball that's protecting him to both stop the spinning and put Grace in like the medical facility, like the little medical robot guy. Rocky totally burns up, goes back into his cage. Grace wakes up. Oh no, Rocky's dead. No, I don't know how to get. First of all, my bro's dead. Second of all, I don't know how to help his planet. Third of all, maybe he's not dead. Maybe please wake up, please. Um, but he gets the other life, breeds it to make it so that he can have it on his planet. They put it in these little tubes. Skip ahead. Rocky wakes up. He's fine. Don't worry about it. Um, then they're like, okay, we got what we came for. Let's bounce. Grace is like, I actually am not going back home. This is out of order, but it doesn't matter. I'm not going back home because I don't have enough little alien dudes. And Rocky's like, don't worry, take mine. I'll go home a little bit slower, but like you will survive. So like that's worth it for me. He goes, sweet. You have just made literally my whole life. You've made that. That was perfect. Thank you. We're bros. Um. So they're like, okay, part ways. Leaves. He's hanging out with the probes. Oh my gosh, there's a leak in the boat. It's the life that they got to kill the alien guys. They're leaking through the breeding tanks that are made of the stuff that Rocky's ship is made of. Oh my gosh, no. Rocky's ship, he won't, there's nothing else on the ship. He won't be able to stop it. They're gonna eat all of his alien dudes. He's gonna be stuck there and die. I only have enough aliens to either go back to Earth or to go save Rocky. Planned. I'll do the original thing and send a probe back to Earth with all my information so that they're fine, and then I'll go save Rocky. Let's go save Rocky. He does that. Rocky is fine. Save the day. They go back to Rocky's planet. He's fine. The planet is fine, I guess. The planet scientists there make him a little biodome that he gets to live in, so that's cool. Earth gets the probe. They're all cool. And he gets to be a teacher for other Rockies for a little bit, and then they're like, maybe we can send you home now. And he's like, maybe. And that's how the movie ends. This movie, having been, I've never read the book, but it's been recounted to me several times. I didn't, I've never had got any sense of comedy in the book, so I don't know if it's just because it's hard to tell that when you're telling like the story. But the movie is very funny.
I heard the book has a lot of funny
Yeah.
bits in it.
Because in my mind, when you were talking about like people telling me the movie, this was before the movie came out, so I had a picture of what I thought Grace would look like, and it was not close to Ryan Gosling at all.
Okay, well, let's talk about Ryan Gosling for a minute because I think this is a perfect role for Ryan Gosling. Like everything people like about Ryan Gosling as a person, like his personality, is tenfold as him as Grace. Like he's he's caring, funny, relatable, compassionate. He's like he's
I
so fun to watch.
I want to when I was seeing this, I was like, oh, he got like typecast, but then I was like, it's not exactly like his other roles, but I still want to use that word, and I think that's kind of why like what you're saying is why I think that.
Hmm. Yeah, because he's played a lot of he's played all over the spectrum of roles and characters types, but like this one is like a perfect combination of all the things that like people love about his other characters, but also him as Ryan Gosling as the person. And so I think that he really was drawn to this role because of that, and
Well,
it
he produced
shows.
it as
Yeah, he
well.
did produce this movie. It shows in the best way. Like absolutely loved Ryan Gosling in this movie and the character that he then created. Because it's mostly just him and Rocky the whole movie.
Yeah.
Um, so
The thing I was going to talk about before we went into the thing is there's a lot of bits in this movie that are like we don't know exactly how it works or this or whatever. Or he big part Rocky is an alien and they don't speak the same language and they don't even speak the same kind of speaking. Like he has vibrations and stuff like he's no written and he doesn't have a mouth and all these things. And I feel like in a book it's much easier for me to choose whether or not to believe parts of it or like imagine how it could have been. Like it's easier to not explain stuff in a book because you can be like, oh, he speaks with vibrations, but in the movie you have to like show that he's doing that instead of just say that. Which in books you're always like, oh, show not say, but it's easy to like say stuff and you have to show stuff in movies. Which
mhm.
I think I was thinking about this. I watched this movie twice. Um, And both times, the whole time I was thinking was about how Rocky communicates. He Grace talks English to him. Rocky doesn't have a translator. He just figures it out, I guess. In the movie, it looks like Grace has a translator for Rocky, and what how it seems like is not exactly like language, like not translation, but like he's speaking back to him in Rocky, and he takes the Rocky, and they just attach like English words to what they mean rather than actually understanding and then knowing, right? So I was like, so there's they give him a little like text to speech guy, and so his text to speech guy is in imperfect English. So you're supposed to be like, oh, that's like how it's translated, but uh, I do think it was like in a style. How much of it is a stylistic choice as opposed to what would have been an accurate representation? As there were airlines that I'm comparing them to, but like, do you get what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because of the way that he talks. Like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I made a point of not this exact thing, but something that is similar in my mind is not only is this movie about space, it's mostly, if we're gonna say, if you have to pick one category, it's about science because he's a science teacher. He's trying to explain, like, figure out how this is working and stuff, but he has to go to space to do that. I don't like science either, and
Yeah,
I don't get
true.
it. I'm not smart. I don't know sciencey things, but they explained everything in this movie in a way that I could understand it and then carry my understanding through it, like throughout the movie. Excellently done. Like it didn't lose me at any point. There's a whole bit before he like goes to well, the movie is out of order. So there's a bit where he's like in the facility like working through things and like they're trying to figure out like where it's going to like make this dark room and stuff and then they lose it and they have to make another dark room and like I understood every single bit of that and enjoyed watching it. Like to do that in a movie with like super complex ideas and like space and aliens and like just science in general is very tough to do and they did it incredibly well. Like I wasn't lost at any point.
I agree. I feel like in movies like this that are so science based, I feel like though they like to throw in it's for comedy, like bits where they'll like start talking like extra sciencey and then being like, "No, yeah, I got that," or "No, yeah, I didn't." That's usually the joke. But I'm like, whether or not you understand it, it's less enjoyable. Because usually, if you understand it, you're like, "Well, that's not right," and if you don't understand it, you're like, "Well, I don't care." They did that good in this one.
Hmm. Like I said before, this movie is out of order, and I think that was I do you know if
The book is,
the book's out of
yeah,
order?
it goes
Okay.
chapter to chapter.
Okay. So I think that is really smart. I can't I'm assuming the book is out of order in the same way, but the movie is
It
out of
it can't be exactly the same way because of some of the ways that they did the transitions. Where like, for example, at the beginning, he's talking to the kids in the past, and he's like, the smartest guys we know are on it, like on Earth, the best guys, and it cuts to him.
well, I mean like in the same way as in they made it out of order for the movie to make certain twists elements really impactful. So well, I'm gonna say, I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure in the book they would have made the twist element that they forced him to go on the ship, not at the beginning of the book. Like they probably would have put that at the end,
Yeah,
how they made it a twist in this one. But they also made it like you were saying in the recap, the explosion, like that wasn't shown before. Like all of this is out of order in a way that like the twists are possible to like make impact, but also if they put it in chronological order, you have all the stuff with the team and all of the stuff, and then he's in space. He's in space for most of the movie, and some of the bits where it's just him and Rocky, like if you put all of that for an hour all together with the movie, I feel like you could have lost some people and gotten a little bored because it's the same thing over and over again. But when you stagger it and put it in between other things, like it makes it more impactful, it gives it more of a comedic, it like shakes up what you're watching, so like you don't get bored at any point.
I also feel like they do this in other movies where like, and especially TV shows where you can't have like serious, 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 serious. You have to like give the audience a break so you can go serious, funny or serious funny or like not funny but like not as like emotionally involving.
Yeah.
And that's how they do that in this one because the whole time in space you're either confused or you're sad or like there's hopeful bits, but it's mostly like heavy emotions like that. And then you cut back to the past where they're like discovering things and like
Mhm.
figuring out it. And then they do the opposite when uh the bad things happen in the past. When it's towards the end, that's when he's succeeding in space and like
Mhm.
it's good writing.
I am curious about the entire timeline though. Like if they said it in the movie, like obviously it wasn't like in your face enough that I understand the entire timeline of like how long did it take him to get to that planet?
I thought it's 4 years coming back, but it going is
Because
longer, but
they
not
show
that
a
longer.
clip of the head girl who's like in the what's the group called? She's the head of Project Hail
Yeah.
Mary, we'll just say. And show a clip of her at the end of the movie after he's like sent back the transmission where she looks older, but she doesn't look like
It
old.
it is at least between when he gets sent off to when he comes back is at least 10 years because it takes at least 4 years for him to it takes him a little longer than 4 years for him to get back, and it took him longer than that to get there, and he was in space for also a long time.
Okay, so like
Like
he
he was
could come
asleep the
back
whole time.
and still have a life,
Yeah.
which I'm glad that he did have the chance to come back. That was because when he's like part the I did not cry during this movie, but I got a little like emotional when Rocky said, "You can have my what are we calling them?
Aliens.
You can have my little alien guys, and it will
They're
take
called
me, yeah, you
astrophages.
can have my astrophages, and I will take 6 extra years to go home, which we don't know how long."
Well, by the time that he says that in the movie, he's already said that he's been with his mate for 160 something years. So I'm like, his lifetime is
Mhm.
at least that plus a little bit more. So I'm like,
I'm just
6 years
saying,
is not that crazy to
yeah,
me.
but still, like
That is 6 years
when he
alone.
when he said you can have these, and Grace got emotional. I then also got emotional. I was like,
I actually really love that scene for Ryan Gosling's acting because right before that scene, he's trying to like comfort Rocky and all this stuff. He's like, "I'm gonna be okay, this whatever." Like, and you kind of believe him, right? And then when he's talking, his face is he's got this dramatic lighting where you kind of just see his little bit outline of him like considering the fact, and then where he's like, "Oh shoot, I have the possibility of actually getting back." And then all the emotion comes. He's like, "Oh my gosh, that part, excellent,
mhm.
excellent."
And I did like that coupled with there's a lot of moments where he's on the ship and he's like, well, I started thinking about like there's a lot of moments where, because it's revealed that he did not volunteer to go on the ship. They physically like drugged him up and put him on the ship because he was the only guy who could do it. I started thinking about like there's no way I would never say I can do this. Even if I was like as smart as he is in his position, like I don't think I would have said, "Yeah, put me on that ship," because it's a one-way ticket and you're done. Like that's what the other astronauts signed up for. Like
That's
couldn't be me. And so
that's
I
one of
started
them.
thinking about
Yeah,
it
you say.
when he was like those cutbacks, and then it was, "Oh, you can go home," and I was like, "Oh gosh."
When so at the beginning of the movie you don't know that he's been forced, and he looks through his own things and he looks through this stuff of his deceased like crewmates, and he has exactly one picture of himself that's a Polaroid in the hallway, and that's the only thing that he has that's his other than his clothes, and everyone else has a bunch of pictures of their friends and a bunch of stuff that they brought and like their favorite foods and stuff, and he just has that one picture that someone took of him. And like that's one that's a rewatch that you're like, that's kind of nice. And then when he sends him off into space, he does this a few times in the movie, but it's like he is giving them kind of like a funeral, and he's like I hope that I can succeed in the mission so that like and what he's meaning to say is so you don't die in vain, which is like those are the unspoken words that he's talking about, and it gives you such an insight into his character that's like he it gives you immediately what he's thinking, where he's like, I'm not prepared. Everything's riding on me, and like I'm afraid that this will all have been in vain, and that's why he doesn't say it because he's still scared. I'm like, that is an excellent. I really love that part as well because it totally tells you exactly what he's thinking, what he continues to think, whether or not because you don't actually there's not a specific part where he's like is remembering things, but there are parts where he's like I don't remember, but then later he's like, well, I do know this, which I kind of liked when in like other movies when people forget stuff that's a much bigger part of the movie and so that it's much like they put a lot more emphasis on I now remember this piece of information whereas him knowing it doesn't change his goal and it's not as much of a big deal but it does kind of change how he feels about stuff and they use his dialogue to change that because for a guy who's stuck by himself for a very long time he does talk aloud for everything which I enjoy.
I would do that.
Yeah.
Um, Speaking of dying, the scene where Rocky's like dying and he saves Grace because the ship starts spinning and like
When
Grace like goes
when the ship starts
unconscious.
spinning and he hit his head, I was like,
Me
like,
too. I was like,
oh my gosh,
"Oh."
it just
And
killed him.
Rocky like basically sacrifices himself because he doesn't know if he's gonna survive. Um,
He doesn't know that Grace isn't dead because he just sees him not moving and it's
mhm,
like, I'm the one who has to stop this ship
yeah,
and I'm gonna save Grace.
yeah. That scene was such a good contrast from the rest of the movie because it's kind of got it's like a strobing effect, it's all red and it's like really intense and like really draws you in and you're like obviously you care about these characters now at this point in the movie and then all this happens and it's like that scene was really good. It was not my favorite scene, but up there is one of my favorites. My favorite scene was when they go to the planet or the moon or whatever it is that they're gonna go collect samples from, and he's out in space, and it's the green and the orange planet, and then it's you see all the astrophase,
Did you
like the
know that
pink
that's
dots.
practical?
I so okay, this I
That wasn't
specifically
CGI, bro.
there's no green screen in this movie. I don't understand how that makes sense. I don't get it.
For like the gravity part or like things like
No,
that.
no, like that visual with the green and orange
How they
planet.
did the cameras, they have like little slides that are like in they're like, we can't see the astrophage. Let me check every kind of light. That is real for cameras. They have different kinds of light, and they messed with those physically to see. Like, so, like, you couldn't, if you're watching him acting not through the camera, it looks regular. But if you're looking at through the camera, that's technically a practical effect.
I get that, but like the orange and the green planet is that CGI?
That one is CGI.
But then how do you I thought you have to have a screen to CGI stuff.
No,
Okay.
you can just
I guess that
put it
makes
on
sense
there.
then, I guess. I was just
Green
like
screens make it
I
easier.
couldn't understand. Okay, that's what I was confused about because I was like, in my mind, you had to have like a green or blue screen to then CGI on top of it, but I guess
No,
not.
not on top.
Because I was like,
Yeah.
because I know Rocky was practical. They had a puppeteer and like he was interacting with Rocky. But like when like all the stuff in space, I'm like, I don't understand how this can there's no
Sure exactly how they did when he is in like zero gravity. There's a handful of ways that you can do that. I'm not sure how they did it in like they must have done it differently for different scenes because I'm like it's very very good in this movie. The zero like he does a lot of floating and I'm
well, he's
like
on
this
wires.
is yeah I know but like usually in other movies you can tell or like oh
Oh.
you're like if you have a wire like in front and back and you're like you know you have limited ways you can move.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of moves in a way that I thought was really very convincing.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed.
So I don't know the technical stuff, but impressive. So
Yeah, I enjoyed quality. The lighting in this movie. Oh my gosh.
a minute since you've talked about lighting.
That's because the movies have not been that good. This
Mm.
10 lighting, 10 out of 10 cinematography, 10 out of 10 writing, 10 out of 10 acting. I enjoyed.
I do
It was so
suspect
good.
we'll bring it back to the beginning. When Oscar season rolls around next year, I do expect some wins. for this movie.
Yes.
This year so far, I have been thrilled with everything that has come out and like everything that I have seen. Actually, most of what I have seen thus far. I did Hamnet come out in 2020?
No,
No, it
last year
came
because the
last year.
Oscars.
But Send Help came out this year. Not impressed with that. Um, Other than that, what was the other thing? Oh, the Wonder Man, but that's not a movie, so we're not going to count it. So far, I am very impressed with 2026 film year.
I am though. Uh, lots of I think all of the movies that I don't know about Scream, but I know all the other movies that came out this year that we enjoyed have been in the making for way longer than like the like movies that came out last year or like so I'm like,
Guess that's the
is this
key.
a good year for cinema or is this like finally everyone's gotten the tracks moving again, you know?
Well, I think this is showing us that like maybe take your time on some things.
That's true.
Maybe take a little bit more time and then create something truly incredible.
'Cause I think this movie they started making it in like
He said
2021.
he'd been working on it for 5 years.
Yeah,
So
2021.
this movie was a COVID baby. Um,
It's
so
how in your mind how far is COVID?
2020.
Okay.
So I guess it is 2026.
Yeah, that's why I said
I
2021.
thought it was 2025. You said that in
Yeah,
my mind.
sorry.
I was like 5 years ago, 2020.
Isn't that crazy though? In my mind, 2022 was yesterday. And then, but when it was 2023, 2019 was yesterday. But now I'm like
Mm,
that's so far away now. I
yeah.
think that's just because like I have done nothing in that
Okay.
time.
Anyway, what do you rate this movie?
I rated it an 8 out of 10.
Okay, really high for Becca.
Yeah.
I was a
That's
9 out of
very good.
10.
I agree with what you said at the beginning, where I'm like, every part of this movie was awesome. There was no part that sucked, but it just lacks that little bit of epicness that would have made it a perfect movie.
That's exactly what I said, which is why I gave it a 9. So
I think
what's the
I
extra drop for the 8?
because I've actually listen. I think that I think every movie that I've ever rated a 9 is actually a 10. And then half of the movies that I've rated an 8 are actually a 9. So I think
Okay.
this movie is actually a 9.
Okay. Crazy that we're both at 9s.
Yeah. But I do I some of the thing for example some of the other space movies that you're talking about like Interstellar and Space Odyssey specifically they have a very epic feel to this
Mm.
and this one was more kind of like buddy comedy which like although there are really awesome bits uh it it kind of lacks the grandiosity that I would give a 10 out of 10. They're just like when we've discussed in episodes way long ago how like a 10 out of 10 comedy is totally different than a 10 out of 10 drama. Like you
Sure.
can't think of it like we were comparing Lord of the Rings to something else and I was like you couldn't get Lord of the Rings level awesomeness from a movie that has different goals.
Uh-huh.
I think this movie's goal is not to be the most amazing epic awesome thing, but to be a little bit of both and be awesome while you're doing it.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
You're agreeing in a way that I don't think you understand what I'm
No,
saying.
well, I understand what you're saying. Yeah. It's just a much bigger
Yeah.
conversation.
The movie is exactly what it's trying to be, and I love it for it.
Yeah. What's genre is this movie under though?
Sci-fi, drama.
Okay. True. I was thinking like comedy drama. When I think of genres, it's either like romance, comedy, or drama, and that's it. But it's
I think it's just, I think
or horror.
everything is either comedy or drama, and then under those are different genres.
Should we see what Google says?
I think it'll say sci-fi.
I think it'll say sci-fi comedy. It always puts like four different things. Oh,
Sci-fi
sci-fi
comedy.
adventure.
I hate adventure genre. That's nothing. If you go on your IMDb, it'll show you. It'll be like this is the genre that you rated most times, and it's always like adventure, comedy, or not adventure, but like adventure. What am I? I'm trying to think of other the genres that I don't think are actually real. Because
Looking
adventure is
at
like that's the friggin' nothing. That means nothing. That means they move.
that so on Google where it's like people also ask, what are those based on?
Other like I don't know.
Because
If
I
you Google one thing and then Google another thing,
looked
I think
up
they're made up.
Project Hail Mary And then one of the first people also ask is Project Hail Mary a good film?
Yes,
And then right under that is can I make out in a theater? So let's see what Google says. A short kiss on the is a short kiss on the lips is almost always acceptable. That's from Cinema Etiquette Wikipedia.
that's so funny. I know it's like a thing to like go to a movie and make out, but I'm like, I'm here for the movie every time.
Yeah, I would never do that. Pay to go see a movie. Pay, you're basically paying to make out. That's crazy. Anyway, we're
So
gonna
here are some of the things I was talking about for the genres. According to IMDb, I have the biggest genre of movies that I have rated is adventure because everything is adventure. It's adventure over drama, adventure over comedy, fantasy. That one I get. That one is less. I feel like it's less of a genre, more of a description, kind of like
wait a minute.
sci-fi.
Wait. These are how many movies you've rated in this
Yeah,
category?
how many movies?
How many movies have you rated total?
Probably like 700.
That's
I
crazy.
can check.
Wait,
What number do you think? My guess is 700, close to 700.
okay, I'm gonna say 650
Hold on.
over under.
I want to see. Watch history, 705.
Okay, dang. How do I find that?
Same thing. You
My
got
watch history ratings
this is
83.
so you got to step up your game. I
I'm
think
new, I'm new.
that's true.
And I'm not going back and that shouldn't be on my
I
watch
don't
list.
ever go back, but if I click on a movie that I've recently watched and then it's like people who liked this movie also liked, and I haven't rated those, then I'll go back and do those.
I haven't gone back and rated things before I officially started reading. I've given nothing a 2.
Yours is so different. Mine is
Look
like a
at
normal bell curve with the top at 7,
my
with
top one.
significantly less tens and
My
nines.
top one is also adventure,
Adventure's a stupid drama
but
genre.
closely followed by action. I
Really.
only have, oh no, there's 15 more, it says. Least rated, family.
I think action should be split into
Oh wait,
two
no.
genres, where it's like movies that have action, like such as uh,
No, okay,
a Knight's Tale is the movie that I'm looking at right now. That would
actually,
be what?
my lowest one is romantic epic as a genre.
That's because there's not a ton of them.
Why wouldn't that just be romance though?
Subgenre.
Ridiculous.
Here's what I'm talking about. Movies that have action but are a different genre. That I'm thinking the movie that is just popped up is A Knight's Tale. This is a movie that has action, so it's listed as an action movie. It's not an action movie. Jason Bourne is an action movie. I feel like those are completely different. Do you get what I'm saying though? Like movies that are just action, Mission Impossible. Movies that are just action, like this is just different than movies that have action. But I do like I more as action as a genre, action as a subgenre should be labeled differently. I'm
Oh,
okay with subgenres though.
we should just do a
Description.
whole episode on IMDb.
Are we talking? Here's okay.
No, no, no.
No. Hold on, hold on.
No.
I just want to say, I have, I told you I have an average at 7, and then 8 is like okay, and then I have significantly less nines and tens. I think almost all my nines scoot up till 10, and half or less than half of my eights scoot up till 9, and maybe less than a third of my sevens scoot up till 8. Then I will have a normal with my average being at 7.5, and I'll have some 10 out of 10s because I'm very reluctant to give 10 out of 10s even to movies that I have objectively said are the best movie ever. So I think that's a me problem.
Yeah. Okay. I wrote it down. We'll do an episode just all about IMDb because we end up always talking about it.
It's
So,
such a useful tool. Not sponsored. Such a useful
yeah.
tool that I enjoy talking about because I love my stats, I love my movies, I love seeing it, I love showing people.
And with that said, see you later. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.